from what it looks like with jewel crafting, at least right now, it's a lot of similar things that we kind of had in Dragonflight. We have our regular prospecting, with being able to prospect, four-ish kinds of materials. We also have crushing, so you can turn certain gems into dust. Currently, this does not work, which is a little weird, but you use these engraved gem cutters, which you can also make, and they just cost some pebbles, which you get out of prospecting, and bismuth, which is one of the new ores. And yeah, I mean, you have the vials, of course, and then you have lenses and inverted prisms, which are some of the crafting materials for some of this different stuff. And you have your usual, sapphires, rubies, onyx, and emeralds, which are just stat gems, smaller stat gems, which is nothing new, nothing too crazy. And then you have these prisms, which at the moment, from what I can see, you make one of these with your leftover materials from prospecting and crushing, and you can right-click them and get basically more materials out of it. So you turn a certain amount of gems into more gems using leftover materials that you get from trying to get gems. So it's just another way to get more. And the amounts obviously might change, but that's what it seems like so far. And then you obviously have your jewelry crafting, which is both necks and rings. The interesting thing that has changed this time around for jewel crafting is the unique equipped epic gems are, from the looks of it, no longer bind on pickup. So these are probably going to be able to be sold on the auction house, which is very interesting, and it sounds very good for the people that did not like having to do that through the work order system. And something that also changed is that diamonds, this is called blasphemite, but it's basically the new diamond. And you get these through thaumaturgy and alchemy, which is an upgraded version of transmuting. So we don't really know how hard these are going to be to get, but that's like the main thing that makes these particular gems. So we'll see how hard that is. But that is the one main big change. The other thing is where was that? Here it is. In PvP, they're gonna let you get 2 sockets on helmets, amulets, bracers, belts, and rings, and they're going to let jewel crafting make this particular setting. And these are also not, from the looks of it right now, bind on pickup, so we might be able to sell these on the auction house. Currently, it has we don't know how to craft it, but it looks to have multi-craft on here, so that might be particularly interesting. But this is very, very good. This is good that they're adding more profession stuff to PvP-related things. I'm pretty happy about it. There is also a setting for PvE stuff. I don't actually know whether or not we get to see... Oh, here it is. Add 1 socket to an amulet or ring, and you can have up to 2. And this is the PvE version. So the other one is specifically designed for PvP gear. A War Within PvP gear. So, yeah. It's going to be less gems, or less sockets, but it still exists. And this is also not bind on pickup from the looks of it. And those are kind of like the main things. You can see currently that the jewelry is still going to be bind on pickup. So that means that that's still going to be related to work orders and stuff like that. Which is, well, depending on how you like your professions, it might be unfortunate or it might be okay, right? And as for the specialization, currently there are 3. There's gem cutting, jewelry crafting, and shaping. Shaping is basically what you want to pick if you want to get more out of your materials, right? Your gems and stuff. That's mostly what this does. So, yeah, it makes your prospecting and it makes your crushing better. And you have jewelry crafting, which is, this is what you want if you want to be able to make rings and necks at a high level, right? If you're going into work orders. And then there's gem cutting. This is 100% going into, as you can see, the 4 different kinds of gems. And this also gives you the option to use finishing reagents when you're cutting gems. And then you also get more skill when you're using blasphemite particularly. So if you want to go into gems, you're going into gem cutting and shaping. And if you're going into gear particularly, you want to click on jewelry crafting and then probably also shaping, because this lets you use your materials in a better way for resourcefulness and not multi-craft, but resourcefulness particularly. So that's generally the TLDR from what I can see at the moment on jewel crafting. And I mean, it looks and sounds pretty good to me. I think because of the way that they've put together the blasphemite, because of the fact that this is going to be somewhat limited or hard to get, depending on whether or not they add like a daily crafting cooldown to it on on thaumaturgy for alchemy. Even if they don't add like a daily crafting cooldown to it, this is still something that you have to transmute. So it's a different way to get it, and I'm excited to see it. But jewel crafting and then obviously comboed with alchemy looks to be potentially a very, very good thing.